See, one of the objectives of SME IPOs was to enable because there's so many SMEs that we have, in order to ease the access of SMEs to the capital market. That was objective, and therefore we went for a relatively lighter touch regulation. Also went to, they could only go through the exchanges, and not necessary to approach Sebi for clearances of IPOs. And in between we had some we saw some of the issues arising out of it. So there were a change in regulation in terms of who can access it. We tightened a little bit for purpose for which it can be deployed, how much you can use it for general corporate purpose. I think there the role of merchant bankers is also important, because to some extent we find that the cost of raising fund is just a bit much higher. Like if you are raising this, what is a proportion of your fund is as a cost of expenses.
Right.
Normally you will see if you raise larger fund, your cost will go down. That's a normal phenomenon in any bulk whenever you do. But we also need to see how much also they can afford in terms of the cost of raising capital. That apart, I think we have to be constantly watchful on this. If we find that, because there's certain, as I said, that certain measures were taken to tighten the situation, so we will be watchful as to how that pans out. Our point is that disclosures are important. People should look at disclosures. When you do investments, then investments you should give, because so much of information is being made available to you, then you should be watchful. And thirdly, you could always, the investors must also see how you are putting the money and diversifying, and not really trying to put the money in just a few, only on the expectation that the returns are temporarily, they look very attractive to you in terms of capital gains, but they may actually not be true, because if you do not watch the performance over a period of time in terms of real activity, what's happening there. So slowly you have to build up the your trust on those companies, and also watch the companies over a period in order for them to ramp up investment. So I think a lot of people have been misled by the wrongful advice also, because there are people who are perpetrating these kind of advice, for which we are going against them. The influencers who are not qualified to give such kind of advice on specific stocks, and also about assuring some returns. And I think we have also have some egregious cases in that, where we found that there was a tendency to pump and dump. But these are the cases that we will come very hard if we find any such thing.
But the regulatory purview will continue to be with the exchanges, not with SEBI for SME.
As I said that we will be watchful. If we find that this will requires a relook, we will revisit it in consultation with industry.
So another question on retail IPO. The quota of 35% was fixed long back. Because lots of retail investors have come to the market and the size has quietly grown up. Any thought on reviewing it?
Well, I think this is in terms of the review that we are doing of various regulations in consultation with industry, where public consultations will also be done. I think we are open to looking at it, whether it is right thing to do, whether we continue it like the way it is, or will it require a modification. So it's a part of relooking that we, as I said, that we will undertake. But we have not formed any specific opinion about this matter yet.
So this will be put up for public consultation?
Yes, it will be reviewed and we have PMAC, we have SMAC, and we have IPAC. Different committees are there, and they would also look at this, and then we have consultation papers. So it will we will have to churn it and we'll bring it and with look at the data, whether this is, exactly is it the right way forward or is it the good enough? So we also sometimes don't need to destabilize any situation for the heck of it. So if we have a problem, if we have any issues, then we can look at it. If we are comfortable with something which is already stable, the market is stable, then we can continue with it.
There is a demand that some section is asking that the retail quota in larger issues should be reduced.
That is what I'm saying. In that context only I replied to you. So we have we are relooking at that matter in terms of simplification, in terms of making changes, contextual changes. So if we find that there is a rationale, if we find that there is a larger support for it, we can go for that. So it's difficult for me to comment and prejudge an issue before it is actually done.